So its history is kind of elusive to me. I like to coexist with the shadows of the past. We need to remember where we came from.
So the Tarrs had the house built in 1866 and 7, so it is just under 150 years old. James Tarr was an eccentric, I think is a good way to put it. I think he was far more a utilitarian individual. And he was a farmer. I mean, that was, this house was grand, but this house was a place to live. This was a farmhouse on steroids. When the Tarrs hit oil, it was this great thing, but I don't think any of them had any idea just how important it was.
And they took their money and came to the big city of Meadville and actually paid an architect to design the house.
This was just in the way, just like the house that was between the house that was between the Baptist church and the courthouse next to the blue building that's up there. That was torn down. There was one right next to this one that was torn down. For some people, whatever the progress is important. Let's get it done. If that stands in the way, take it down.
And Josh and several other members of our board, the Crawford County Historical Society, went to a meeting.
They were talking about how awful it was and how there was no character left and no woodwork and no fireplaces and things. And I said, well, who's seen inside of it? And no one could raise their hand.
They just assumed that it was worth being torn down.
I can only imagine seeing a picture from the outside of this with half the house missing and look in here and see that. People that have been here for a long time understand that. You know, there goes another one. You know, we just lost this.
We went to the public meetings they had and showed the pictures, and then received a call from the commissioners and had said, well, we would like to find a way to save it. If we're going to do something, let's just do it.
Because there'd been so many places in Meadville torn down, that if we don't start protecting these places, Meadville is just a place that you drive through to get where you really want to go. But, you know, to me, it's so important that if they spent the time to build such a beautiful place, it needs to be preserved. The first time we took and actually busted through and got to see that, that hadn't been opened up since 1929. To me, I know we were on the right track at that point. There's a mansion under here somewhere. It was covered up.
And there was a door that was completely enclosed in a wall. The persons who converted this house into apartments, they didn't take things out, they just covered them up. So as you can see, like even here, they lowered the ceiling and cut off the trim, but we're going to be able to take it back up to where it originally was.
The doorway that was actually covered with newspapers from 1929, May and June, gets you to really think about what kind of newspapers were dropped off here. You know, the Civil War had just gotten over. beginning of Second World War. I mean, you saw Kennedy shot, the moon landing, and, you know, it covered such a vast, you know, all the way up to 9/11.
Just like a time capsule.
The old girl's been, you know, around for a long time, and a lot of history's passed, and it's still standing, which is great.
Hey Josh, you gotta look at this door.
Josh, come here.
I'm coming.
It's like you left.
Oh, look at this. Beautiful. What year is that?
1929.
One of the big conversations was that people just didn't want to see the diamond destroyed, didn't want to see the building get torn down, thought there was a lot of history here, seemed very interested in the history and wanting to get involved.
The mansion's cool. I want to live here.
Yeah, this is a really cool renovation. It's such an awesome space. Like, I'm glad that it's not just like getting demolished for parking that isn't needed.
I think the community has been cautiously optimistic. And I think now that we own it, that they really thought, they really did it. Those crazy people really did it.
Thank you.
Okay, I guess this stuff is going in the dumpster and then the food.
Somebody told me once how to eat an elephant, just one bite at a time, you know. So it takes a while, and you just have to focus on small projects. My mom said one time, you know, I had to clean the garage out, and I told her, I said, I don't know where to start. She goes, you know what, start in the corner and work out. And she says, pretty soon you're at the other end.
And because of the apartments that are here, we realized that it could be self-sustaining, which we hadn't had before.
And that way people that are interested in history can, you know, live in it, be a part of it.
And it helps guarantee that it'll be here for another 150 years to come.
It excites me that when I walk in here, every time I do, this house is happier.